Poor single dad let a lost girl stay the night. He never expected her father to be a millionaire sparkles. The storm had swallowed the entire town in darkness when Armin, a struggling single father with nothing but a flickering lantern and a father's stubborn hope, opened his creaking wooden door to find a trembling girl standing on his broken porch, soaked, scared, and too silent for her age. His small house, already dim, felt even tighter as her shivering frame entered, dragging with it a mystery that Armin never imagined would change his life forever. He wasn't a man who expected miracles. Life had taught him the hard way that miracles only visited people who already had plenty. But that night, with rain hammering his roof and debts crushing his back, he found himself offering a stranger, barely 13, lost in the storm, a place to stay, without knowing her arrival would shift the entire destiny of his little family. Backhand index pointing right if you believe in kindness, compassion, and second chances. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe to K&H Stories to support more heart-touching stories like this. Armin had never planned to raise a child alone. His wife's sudden passing had torn him apart, leaving him with a newborn son and no strength left in his heart. Over the years, as his boy Zayn grew, Armin worked every odd job he could find, from sweeping workshops to unloading trucks at dawn, just to keep a roof over their heads. The house they lived in wasn't much, just 2 rooms patched with tin sheets and hope, but it was the safest place he could afford. That night, as he watched the unknown girl warm her chilled hands near his dying stove, he wondered why fate had brought her there. She didn't speak much, only whispered her name, Myra, and told him she had lost her way while walking home from school before the storm hit. Armin could see fear in her eyes, a fear that went deeper than just the storm outside. He didn't push her for details, respecting the silence she was clinging to like a shield. He simply handed her his own worn-out blanket and cooked an extra bowl of rice, even though he had been trying to stretch their food for the week. As the rain refused to stop, Myra stayed awake for long hours, listening to the wind slam the windows while Armin checked one leaking corner of the roof after another. Zayn, curious and innocent, kept watching Myra like she was someone from a different world. In a way, she was. Armin didn't know that the world she belonged to was filled with things he had never even dreamed of: luxury, security, wealth beyond imagination. And that somewhere in that world, a desperate father was searching for her with helicopters, police teams, and sleepless eyes full of fear. But in Armin's home, the night remained quiet, wrapped in the kind of warmth money could never buy, a warmth built on care and humanity. When morning finally arrived, Myra woke up to the sound of Armin preparing breakfast. It was just tea and flatbread, but he arranged it carefully, as if serving a guest mattered more than his own hunger. She watched him in silence, realizing this man who had nothing still offered everything with a sincerity she rarely saw even in her wealthy world. When she finally attempted a small smile, Zayn responded with a grin that stretched across his tiny face. It was the first moment of softness since she walked in, but as soon as sunlight broke through the clouds, Myra's anxiety returned. She kept glancing outside as if expecting something terrible, something too heavy for a young girl to carry. Armin decided to walk her to the main road, thinking the storm might have made her family worry. But before they even stepped out, the quiet neighborhood suddenly erupted with noise, sirens, voices, flashing lights that cut across their street. Zayn ran to the window, startled, and Myra froze like a bird caught between fear and relief. Within minutes, a group of guards in black coats and a man with a frantic expression stopped outside Armin's door. The moment Myra stepped out, the man rushed forward, dropping to his knees and clutching her as if he had found life again. It took Armin a moment to understand what he was seeing: the expensive cars, the security team, the polished demeanor of the man embracing Myra, and he realized she wasn't just any lost girl. She was the daughter of a millionaire. But something unexpected happened. Instead of simply thanking Armin and leaving, Myra held onto his sleeve and refused to let go. She told her father every detail of the night: the leaking roof, the old stove, the blanket he had shared, the food he had given despite having so little. The millionaire, guilt heavy in his eyes, looked at Armin with a mix of gratitude and shame. He apologized repeatedly, insisting he would repay Armin for saving his daughter. Armin shook his head, insisting he needed nothing. A father simply protected someone else's child the way he hoped others would protect Zayn if fate ever tested them. The millionaire was stunned. He had seen people with money do less for his daughter, yet here was a man with nothing showing a heart richer than all his wealth. Over the next few days, the millionaire kept visiting Armin. He returned not as a businessman, but as a father who had been deeply moved. He noticed Armin's broken roof, the thin walls, the struggle he tried so hard to hide. And when he learned about Armin's life, his loss, his sacrifices, his endless struggle to raise Zayn alone, something inside him shifted permanently. He secretly arranged repairs for the house, paid off Armin's debts anonymously, and sent a job offer through a friend, one that matched Armin's skills but promised a stable income and dignity. Armin resisted at first, uncomfortable with the idea of charity, until the millionaire looked him in the eyes and said it wasn't charity, it was gratitude. Gratitude for protecting the only person he lived for. Gratitude for reminding him that humanity still existed in the simplest of homes. Life began to change slowly. Armin accepted the new job, and with it came the ability to give Zayn a better life. Myra continued visiting often, forming a deep bond with Zayn and finding a sense of normalcy she never experienced in her guarded world. The millionaire, once a distant figure of wealth, became someone who respected Armin deeply and treated him like a brother. Their friendship grew not from money or favors, but from one night of kindness.